met you in the pregame show. Briefly, your thoughts on this game?
Well, I think it's going to come down to mistakes on Philadelphia's part. That's what's killed them the last couple of weeks. And as the coach said, mistakes on their part, but Philadelphia's got to find out who they are. They really do. Identity is important. They start off like gangbusters, and in the third and fourth quarter, they're just trying to hold on to a lead. Last week, they blew it in the last couple of seconds to Milwaukee, but overall, they need to find out who they are. But I think the Predators are well-experienced team enough to beat this one.
Gary Allen has T.T. Tolliver.
T.T., how did you manage to hold on to that ball when it looked like the Philadelphia Soul player was going to get it from you?
Oh, this is a game of inches. You know, this playing football, it's all about inches, and he was an inch short. I held on to it. It was a good ball by Nick.
Okay, thank you, T.T. Back up to you guys.
And let's go down to Gary. He's got Coach O'Hara now.
Coach, what adjustments are you going to make?
Can't do anything about that referee call, but we've got to overcome adversity. This is a great test for our team right now to overcome the adversity we faced. Nothing's been easy so far. We've got to settle down and come out in the second half and have a great half.
The offense has been playing real well, but the defense seems to be just shooting themselves in the foot.
We've had to work for everything we wanted to do here, and we've got to settle in, really execute what we're capable of doing. We got the possession coming out, and we'll be in good shape.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Gary Allen, your thoughts on the way Ryan Venice played tonight?
Well, he has a low center of gravity. He reminds you of Maurice Jones-Drew. It's hard to get a hold of him, and that's the reason. I mean, you said earlier he didn't have any passing touchdowns, but he has 4 rushing touchdowns coming into this game. So he's very difficult to grab a hold of, as I just found out by talking to a couple of the defenders.
And let's go down to Pat O'Hara. He's with Gary Allen.
Coach, it was a close one. It wasn't pretty, but you got the job done.
Well, you've got to win. Tough, close games in this league, you're going to have games like this. And we didn't play as well as we're capable, but certainly when you're able to overcome the adversity that we had in the first half and even some in the second half, that's a tremendous win that our team will build on. We've got a lot to correct, but to win the close one like that, we've led all the games we've played. We pretty much led the whole way. So when we faced the adversity, we were able to overcome it.
Paul Griffin's interception, big turnaround for you guys.
Yeah, huge play, and he's got a cast on his hand, and great play by Paul when we really needed it. Really proud of our team, the way they hung in there. You've got to win close games like this in the championship season, and our guys did that.
Coach, thank you very much. Back up to you guys.
What's been the key so far for the Jacksonville Sharks' 5-1 start, my friend?
Well, number one, they're 93% in the red zone scoring. They've only got 8 penalties on the season. That is just unreal if you consider all the penalties that have been racked up by other teams, including ourselves. They do not give games away. Last week they got off to a slow start, but they managed to pull it out, 56-42 over Cleveland. And, of course, with the quarterback that they have, Aaron Garcia, it's unbelievable with over 46,000 yards in the air so far in his career. They have a couple of wide receivers, Harvey and Wilson, that are unbelievable with 14 and 13 touchdowns respectively.
Gary, something else. Aaron Garcia right now has 997 career touchdowns in football. What's the phenomenal mark? You talk about that mark, what that really means? 997 total touchdowns thrown in arena football. It's remarkable.
It is when you think about Brett Favre, who was in the professional football. Now, granted, 2 different games, but he played pro football for 20 years, and he had 508 TDs. Warren Moon with the CFL and the National Football League only had 435 touchdowns, and Doug Flutie with the 3 leagues he played in only had a combined 369 touchdown passes. Granted, we're talking about an entirely different league, but just think about that. Just think about that. 1,000 touchdowns if he gets 3 tonight, which we hope he doesn't. That's unbelievable. And again, his jersey and the ball will go automatically to Canton, Ohio.
You know, Gary, something else that the Jacksonville Sharks have done this year, they've played some really, really, really good defense. One of the stingiest defense in arena football. Talking about the Jacksonville Sharks defense, Gary, how do they hold opponents down so well?
They're tough defense. They really know how to play in the slot. They know how to come after the quarterback, and they just get in there and get it. Their number one defensive player, of course, is Robinson. Last week, he 7.5 tackles. He had 1 interception, and he also had a fumble recovery. 3 turnovers there alone. Their big quarter, their second quarter, they've only allowed opponents to score 78 points to 110 that they've scored themselves. So this is a team that knows how to win. This is their second year back in the league, and they are really, really brewing for us. Because, of course, we knocked them out of the playoffs last year, and their defense has just been playing solid defense, not making any mistakes at all along the way to allow themselves to get beat. They do not beat themselves.
Gary Allen's down there, our sideline guy. Gary, you have James Lynch who scored a touchdown, correct?
That's right. I got him right here. James, that was a great touchdown. How did it feel?
It feel good, man. I had to run with a little more anger. Referees continue to blow calls week in and week out. The kicker double kicked it. Half the referees didn't even see it. So just running with a little more anger because they'll blow a call out.
Thanks. Back up to you guys.
You got Bobby Scipio down there?
I got Bobby with me. Bobby, you juked the guy real good. You got away from him. How'd you do that?
Hey, I just used the wall. You know, I've been playing this game a long time. And I know, you're not out unless the guy touches you. And he wasn't nowhere near me. So I just knew. I've been doing it, man. I know what I'm doing. And he took a bad angle and it worked out for me.
You got to feel good about being back, right?
Oh, most definitely, man. I feel great to be back. I'm glad I'm already doing what I'm doing for my teammates. And I just want my boy Kenny Mack to have a big night tonight.
Okay, thank you. Hey, back up to you guys. Thanks.
Gary Allen, do you have Nick Hill there for a second?
Yeah, Nick, how did you see the opening for that touchdown?
It's just scramble drill. They do a good job of getting open. They see me move around.
All right, thanks, Nick. Back up to you guys.
Gary Allen, you're down in the field right now. It's kind of loud, but
Oh, it's very loud.
This year, Gary, is a 2-5 team, and they've gone through quarterbacks left and right. Let's talk to you first of all, Gary, about the Tampa Bay quarterback situation. Who's starting tonight? Who's going to come in after that?
Well, Brian Zibikowski is going to start for them. He started last week. He had 3 INTs. He was 22 for 35 for 377. Grant Gregory is normally their starter, but he's got a high ankle injury. I got that before the game. Yeah, they've gone through a number of quarterbacks. They haven't settled in on anybody as of yet.
You know, Gary, Tampa Bay, though, does have some pretty good receivers led by Whitaker, don't they?
They sure do. Hugh Whitaker, he's 8 for 113 last week for 2 touchdowns. His longest was 41 yards. He has 12 TDs on the season, and I was watching him pregame, and he's a big fella, and he can really bring it down, as well as Hank Edwards. Hank Edwards has 11 TDs on the season, and Armand Jackson, he has 6 TDs on the season so far. So they've got a good wide receiver core. It's just a question of putting it all together for 4 quarters and getting it done.
You know, Gary, Tampa Bay's defense has had some games and given up a lot of yards. Let's talk about that defense. They got one tremendous nose tackle, Gary, don't they?
They have a great guy. They have Cliff Dukes. He's got 7 tackles. 7 tackles for yards lost, along with Eric McIntosh. They're first in the league of pass defense. They only give up 220 yards per game. They also are first in total defense, and they are first against on the kickoff, averaging 19.3 yards a game, but they cannot put it together long enough. Penalties are killing them. They also have 12 fumbles, 8 lost, penalties, 67 penalties for 486 yards.